Hello, Nope Coach listeners. It's Suzanne Kohlberg. Welcome to episode 86, Transitioning Instead of Transforming. Someone asked me recently, several someones, how I've managed to do a daily podcast. And what I do is I use the notes. I've got an iPhone. I use the notes app. And whenever I have an idea for a topic, I quickly type it into my phone. I think, oh, that'd make a great topic. Then sometimes what happens is I'm scrolling through the topics and I'm like, what did I mean by this? I've literally got a few words typed in and I'm like, I have no idea. Like, what was the context for this idea? Anywho, this one, transitioning instead of transforming. I'm a coach. I believe coaches work in the field of transformation. And many of us get frustrated with personal development because we're like, I'm doing all the things. I'm listening to all the podcasts. I'm working with all the coaches. I've signed up for all the courses and nothing's really changing. And personally, I share this because, you teach what you most need to learn so that you can learn it. I've never met a shiny object I didn't like. So I will see a ad for a new course or a coach that I love has a new offering and I'm like, I'm in. And it can be so easy to overload myself with so much information. Information is a far cry from transformation. And for many of us, if we say, for example, your goal was making more money, you can often repeat the same mistakes, errors, setbacks, but from a more luscious lifestyle. Like, more money isn't going to fix the problem. It's just going to be like, I'm doing the same sorts of things with more available to me. So when I think about transforming, that can't be bought. That's you doing the hard yards. That's you doing the journaling, or you doing the mindset work, or you asking yourself the questions, or, taking the actions. Because often when we listen to a podcast or a program or a coach, there's suggested activities. If you've listened to this show before, almost every episode, I invite you to consider, I invite you to ponder, I invite you to journal about, I invite you, like, what are your thoughts on this? That is the part. That's where the transformation comes from. Taking that to your journal, discussing that with your coach, doing the work of actually unpacking that rather than just transitioning from thing to thing to thing. I know, it can be so easy to fall into the temptation of this person, this next person, the next course, the next program. If you're on a weight release journey, the next diet will have the answer. Putting all that power into someone else, but then taking all the blame for yourself when things don't change. So I'm just checking if I had any more notes on this, transitioning instead of transforming. I guess the thing I really wanted to underline is going from thing to thing to thing, thinking the answer is going to be in the next thing, having this destination addiction, so to speak. When I get there, then that can be a very future focused thing, or we can even have a very past focused thing of guilt and blame and shame and regret for things that we invested in before that didn't work out, or things that didn't give us the result that we hoped. But, true transformation isn't instant. It isn't fast. It doesn't mean that it can't happen fast, but, it's not the preoccupation that there is going to be any better than here. If the result you're after is like more money, as I said, you're going to have likely still the same issues there that you have here, but in a more luscious lifestyle, like, in a bigger house, or with a bigger car, or a computer with more RAM, or whatever it's called. But the true work of transformation, the consistent and persistent action of the way that you're turning up for yourself daily and the little things that you do. So for me, this podcast, it's at day 86 now, chipping away at this, showing up each day, putting these little steps towards it. In the program I'm currently teaching, the Mighty 90, it's doing the captain's orders. I've got a podcast episode. If you haven't listened to this, scroll back. I can't remember. I think it's around episode 30 on captain's orders. It is a process that you do daily. And then from there, transformation comes to be. Can you imagine if babies were cognizant enough to be able to buy a program, and this program promised them that it'd be able to walk? Like if babies understood and could read and listen and press buy, no program would have them walking tomorrow. The steps, no pun intended, that are taken towards walking, as in pulling yourself up, falling down, pulling yourself up, falling down. Each time a child falls or stumbles, they are building the strength in their quads and their hammies that next time they'll be able to do more. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it be start a business, grow a business, release some weight, chances are you would have times where it hasn't gone according to plan, where you've tried really hard. And you can use that as a stick to beat yourself up against and go, oh, this is all the ways it hasn't worked. Or you could really pause and say, where here am I transitioning? Am I stopping, starting, instead of transforming by continuing to show up daily and do the action? And I think sometimes people panic when I say show up daily. Showing up daily doesn't mean it needs to be exhaustive. Showing up daily doesn't mean that you need to put in the effort all day, every day. Just 5 minutes. Like these podcasts are no more than 15 minutes out of my day, each day. My captain's orders is 5 minutes out of my day, each day. And then when we fall into the trap of saying, I don't have time, I've done an episode on this, the myth of time. Go look at your phone settings. How much time do you spend on your phone? You've got the time. You're just not investing it in yourself. And I think for many of us, that's the hardest thing, to make ourselves a priority and to stick to that despite all the endless external distractions going on. So thank you so much for tuning into this. Please let me know in the comments, if you're watching this on YouTube, what's been your biggest takeaway? If you're listening to this on a podcast platform app, I would really love for you to leave me a review. I so appreciate them. I read all of them. And if you're not sure how to do that, you've already done a review and you've really enjoyed this episode, share it. Share it on your socials. You can tag me on Facebook or Instagram, or share it with a friend who you think, yeah, they need to hear this today. Sometimes just hearing something small can be that moment. And if it's to stop you from transitioning and going, actually, I'm going to double down on me and really fight for my transformation, then imagine the impact that could have on someone's life. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.